joined in the box tonight by European Tour commentator and poker player Barry Martin. And Barry, this is almost like an all-English game. You could see this table down the Gutshot Club, practically.
You could indeed, Jesse.
There are colors on the table. The yellow chip's worth 1,000. Blues are 2, reds 5K apiece. 600,000 in play, 100,000 per player.
I do normally play tight, don't I?
It's all those Red Bulls.
What does it feel like to you, this game? Does it feel like it's going to be sort of just a lot of limping in these early levels?
I think so, Jesse. I think you're going to find that a lot of these players, new to TV poker, going to kind of feel their way through and
Raise to 6,000 total.
try and
Pass.
lose the early nerves, which I think's the way they're going to go.
Call. Pass.
The nice thing about what George has done is created an image for himself, and K10 is now called with the ace-10 because he feels like he's been playing lots and lots of pots, and his range, ace-10 could easily be within that range of being in good shape.
Look at his lead. I mean, you're absolutely right.
7,000.
And if the ace had come, it'd be great for Sammy.
I don't like these
I don't
hands
know if he can call this.
at all.
It's best.
It's interesting. We'll find out a lot from Sammy George's game here. How he perceives playing ace king to a jack eye flop.
It would be.
He's already given K10 a lot of information by saying, I don't like playing these hands. It kind of screams out ace king, doesn't it, or ace queen?
See?
It's kind of unlucky for him, isn't he? I mean, here he is. He's got the guy exactly where he wants him, and that the guy thinks he has nothing. But problem with ace high is just, it is nothing if no pair after the flop, isn't
I
it?
had ace king.
Call. Pass. Pass. Call.
Are the other players starting to notice that Abby is kind of relentless in seeing these flops?
Yeah, this is obviously his game plan, isn't it?
Should keep these glasses on.
See lots
playing every hand.
of flops, nick it when everyone checks to him.
And we'll sell the top pair for the second hand in as many tries.
Check. 2,000.
He's not exactly lashing these pots with the bets, and
Call.
I have to think that's why Abby is calling. I mean, is Abby calling because he thinks he can take this pot away later?
Yeah, I think he was calling to try and nick it.
It's a very sophisticated play, isn't it?
It is. He's tried to basically stick what they call a float bet in, just to either slow him down and see actually what Lascelles does. But unfortunately for him, George has come in. Maybe think his deuce is good.
2,000. Raised to 10,000.
This is what he'd set up.
The one problem for Abby is that it's actually quite a good card for Lascelles on the turn. Didn't make any draws.
No.
So it's just a question of, was he out-flopped?
Call.
And I mean, you have to figure, if he was out-flopped like with a king with higher kicker, I mean, Abby would have raised on the flop, wouldn't he have? I mean,
It's got to be check call here from Lascelles. I can't. Abby's going to.
One pair.
Yeah. I think Abby. I'm not exactly sure if Abby could have gotten Lascelles off that. It would have been risky.
If he knows Lascelles' game, then I think he'd have figured out that he was going to check call him pretty much whatever he was going to bet.
Yeah.
And like you said, Jesse, with 2 diamonds and a pretty draw-heavy board, you're going to. If you've got any bigger part of that than Lascelles had, you're going to be taken off on the flop. You're not going to let all the other players behind you try and get in. So, I thought Lascelles Barrow played it very well.
Yeah, he's pretty much got maximum value out of a really.
You think so?
Mediocre.
Mediocre.
Early days.
Call.
This is a setup
Pass.
now. Samuel with the limp in, and he is ready for bear.
Call.
Abby doesn't bite,
Raise
but Tim
to
does.
11,000 total. Raise of 9.
That's so big.
I got news for you. This is not going well for Tim, is it?
This table was.
I had a better hand.
is interesting, Jesse.
Respect.
Pass.
You know, they were all setting Sammy up, and
Re-raise.
he sprung a trap on Flanders.
Another 11.
They sprung this pretty good.
Check.
Check.
Sammy's going to get this one. It's not checking, is he?
How much can he bet, though, when he's completely missed?
Well, you know, the pot is like
10,000.
That's such a weak-looking bet, isn't it?
Yeah. That was a funny little pot,
Pass.
and it's done wonders for Sammy George's confidence.
We are going to be wending our way through the maze of what poker players think this series with Neil Channing. Now, Neil, I guess was that a classic example of a squeeze play by Tim?
I don't know whether it was a classic example of a squeeze play. It was a classic example of something going completely wrong in Tim's mind.
What was Tim thinking?
God knows. I don't think Tim knows what he was thinking. I mean, I can't believe Tim was thinking. Sammy George has not shown a propensity to pass a hand so far. He's limped in, Tim's out of position against him, and he's decided to raise with 5 high. He knows Sammy's going to call him unless he suddenly has his body inhabited by another person. I mean, Sammy hasn't passed any hands at all. And Tim wants to raise him out of position with 5-3. It's crazy.
Now, from Sammy George's point of view, he went with a limp re-raise, which I guess is reasonable with ace-king, but how big do you want to make that re-raise? Was that fraught with danger, or?
Yeah, I don't really like the way Sammy played it. I mean, the limp re-raise is a reasonable plan. I don't mind just limping with ace-king occasionally for deceptive purposes. Now he's found exactly what he wanted. The player's raised him. He has position, so there's an argument maybe saying he has position, he can take a flop. But I don't think in this format you want to get too fancy. There's plenty of chips out there in the middle. If he puts a big raise in, he can just take the pot down here and now he doesn't have to worry about whether an ace or king is coming. That's what I'd have liked to have seen Sammy do there.
Looking at the leaderboard, George, 130,000. He's the first guy to kind of pop his head out and start to get some air. It seems to me like everybody's got a plan that's working the way they expect, except for Flanders right now, who's had it all go corned beef.
Yes, it's not gone exactly according to plan for Tim.
I think actually everything Tim has done here, in hindsight, he would have rather done it different.
Pass.
Didn't like
No
those.
fun, no
Yeah.
fun right now. He's got heart.
See?
Raise to 8,000 total.
I can see the
Cool.
flop, not that much.
Insta-call by the Queen 10 from Abbey there, Jesse. Is Tim priced in? Trying to hit a set with his deuces? He could muster up a push as well. He could win this.
Pass.
Jeez, I mean, I think it was only 4,000 more. Wasn't it a minimum raise?
Yeah.
Surely it had to be worth 4,000.
You would think.
Maybe not.
Check.
And this will be interesting to see. A nice continuation bet.
8,000.
I mean,
Cool.
Abby obviously got in trouble against Barrow before.
He's
What?
going to have to play this pot out of position. That's the problem, Jesse.
What's his plan right now? Check and fold? Oh,
No, he's going to lead it again.
8,000.
he's a clever guy, Abby, isn't he?
He is. You did, if you've got any kind of ace here, you're going to slow play it on the flop.
Digesting, isn't it?
Big mistake.
He's a non-believer if a
Oh, this would be lovely.
raise would.
I mean, this would be so nice. I Go on, Lascelles. Oh, the sideways shuffle. You don't put him on a queen, or do you? I mean,
Nice thing about Abby's play to date, Jesse, in this heat is that he's kept the guys guessing.
yeah.
Raise.
Raise to 20,000 total.
That's just so nice. You gotta say that's good.
It's good play, Jesse. Really good play.
And the message it sends out. This is the second time Abby has tried to sort of push Barrow around.
Now, if Abby could pick up the re-steal would this be fantastic poker.
But how can he? I
You
mean,
can't.
I mean, Barrow looks so much like an ace. I mean, if you told Abby he had the best hand now, he wouldn't believe it in a billion years, would
No.
he? And obviously, because that 3 is there, the 10 is useless. So he's looking there and thinking, well, he just can't even call. It's only 12 more and he can't call, can he? I think Barrow's just gone from Chris Ferguson to Carlos Mortensen.
Wow.
Cool.
Wow.
You got to explain that to me.
Yeah.
Is he hoping that the river gets checked, or is he planning to bluff it? Surely Barrow can win this on the river.
Check.
Check.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can't believe. Was it the raise on the turn? Was it just not enough?
I don't think it was, Jesse. The bet out was quite small, the 8,000, and making it 20 was still only a third of the pot.
Yeah.
In 3 months' time.
Abby and Sammy have been the two live wires, 2 stars at the table that I'm sure are not going to let up.
Cool.
And a real feeling at this table that everybody's making their own arrangements. A limp in for George and Alan with a decision here. Do you raise? Do you call?
Cool. Pass.
Alan plays a very trappy game, so limping with the 8 is
Cool.
He sees more value in trying to hit a big hand
Yes.
and make a big pot than
than
trying to
just,
take
just
the 10
winning
out there.
10,000, yeah.
I was expecting all in. I was going to go call.
Four ways, not for the
Oh,
first
dear.
time. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Well,
So we've got second set against the nut flush.
Check.
Check.
Check. Check.
and
Oh,
little does well, just trying to see. I mean,
4,000.
it's pretty much. I wonder if there's any way the chips don't go all in.
4,000.
Honestly, honest truth.
For that.
Cool.
You know, and you flop the nut flush, and you think, how can I raise?
You know
But
what? I'll let you two battle
Against
out.
Alan Abraham, you know he's going to have something. Hopefully a smaller flush, but this is the hand that he doesn't want him to have.
I wonder if Abby might end up being so trapped he doesn't get any money here.
Check.
Alan has to bet, though, surely. Even though he's scared perhaps of a flush, he has to protect his hand, right?
Of course.
15,000.
It's more likely that Abby's just got one heart in his hand, probably a court card or the
It was
ace.
a mistake the first time, Abby.
Ah.
Really.
I mean, even though Abby doesn't want to lose his customer, he has to raise here in order to give a chance of getting all the money in, right? He's got the nuts. He must raise, right?
One more spin.
No.
Cool.
He's playing it like he's got a single heart, and I
Right.
don't.
15
I
grand,
think
almost.
Alan's a little bit too clever for this.
It just seems to me that Abby's risking here. I mean,
See, that just killed his action.
yeah, he's risking not getting all the money in.
10,000.
And if he raises on the turn, Abraham's broke.
One more spin, eh?
Unfortunately for Abby, he just didn't realise, or he doesn't know how big Alan Abraham actually was. Top set,
Pass.
it would have all gone.
Oh, what a fold by Abraham.
Good spin.
And he has no idea really how little he lost relative to what was on that board.
Yeah.
For real.
I would put 10 in.
How could you bluff this Tim right now? I mean, he's got smoke coming out of his nostrils. I mean, well, he was seething before the heat began because
Cool.
he was told that Scott Fenton was playing in his heat. Originally, Scott Fenton was slated to
Pass.
play, and so he watched 3 tapes worth of Scott Fenton and took
Cool.
6 pages of notes,
Cool.
only to find out
No race.
there was a late replacement. Tim has ended up playing like Scott Fenton, which is
He's been brainwashed.
it's, you know, it's a tough style to imitate. God. And it's just like what we were saying. 3rd pair, 4 ways, the nuts.
He wants to check it.
Check.
Not only is 3rd pair way good right now, but there's only about 4 cards in the deck that
Yeah.
can beat him. I mean,
Check. Check. Check.
The problem he's got in the pot, he's got the 2 most aggressive players at the table
11,000.
behind him. And he actually thinks
Cool.
his 7's good,
Pass.
and that's a cracking call, isn't it?
well, it is. I mean, and you know, he's just saying to himself, look, if Abby had any piece of that flop, he would have bet it on the button and tried to get a free card later. I mean,
Absolutely.
I have to say, I think he's right. Well, he is right. The luxury of knowing he's right.
6,000.
And that's a defensive blocker
That's
bet.
that's a stopper bet. Just sting it in there saying, you know what, don't bluff me.
Yeah, but what if Abby reads that and shoves here?
It's a very weak bet, isn't it? 6 into 40, into 38 actually. Looking at 44,000 pot.
It's kind of like when you always you make fun of those toreadors for trying to wave that little red flag in front of the bulls. I mean, it's not going to stop them, is it?
Why do you make it so cheap?
And Abby wants to figure this out.
Yes, that seems to be the
Pretty fair.
colorblind.
Oh, you missed.
There was no draw out there.
Yeah, what could he have missed, Jesse? What did he have? Queen Jack?
6 in. Just if he had slightly more. Oh, he's done it. It's worked.
Oh yeah, the best hand.
I'm going to show
Yeah.
off here. That's winning. Yeah?
A lot of huffing and puffing during that hand for not much action, Neil.
It was a good hand, wasn't it? It's typical of this particular heat. Lots of people seeing the flop, they all sort of think they've got half a hand, and it was interesting because nobody raised pre-flop, so now nobody could believe that anyone would hold an ace in this coup. And when a king comes on the turn, there's 2 kings there, so it's unlikely that anyone's holding a king. So now Tim starts to believe that his 7 is good with 7-9, and Abby's wondering whether maybe his pair of deuces might be good.
Is there a thing about Abby's table image there where actually, you know, Tim could logically think the 7 was good because Abby actually couldn't have a piece of that flop if you know Abby?
I mean, if anyone did have an ace, it would be unusual that they didn't raise pre-flop and didn't bet the flop. Abby's limped on the button, so I think Tim's disregarded an ace instantly. Once the king's come, he's disregarded the king. With Abby, I think you can always think he could just have anything, and I think Tim has to say, well, you know, I can't give him a king or an ace. I'm probably winning with 7-9.
As sure as he is, though, he's elected to make a blocking bet rather than check and induce a big bluff.
Yeah, exactly, because with Abby, you just can't tell, and you don't want to give yourself a difficult decision. He's made the blocking bet, and I think Abby read it for a blocking bet, and I think on the river, he could have done any of 3 things. He's sort of thinking maybe my deuces are good, maybe this is just a blocking bet and I can raise, and he's going through, if I raise, can I make it look like I've got a king or an ace? He knows he can't really tell that story, and he just thinks in the end, oh, what the hell, let's just have another hand.
A lot of guys haven't played so many of this format before, aside perhaps from Tim Flanders, who you expect is going to step it up now.
The 3,000, 6,000, you've got now what?
Raise.
2 to 3 guys that have got that in and around the 10 big blind situation, so they're going to need to do something this level.
15,000 total.
It's, I guess it is just about the biggest hand
Pass.
Sammy has picked up pre-flop tonight. And he stuck a nice raise in.
Pass.
Yeah, he limped re-raise early with ace king, and now he's got the jacks.
Pass.
Alan's had a couple tough decisions tonight. Abby gave him one. Now George is giving him another. He could just peel a flop off for 9. He could re-raise. He could fold.
I'm all in.
Raised all in.
It's understandable, but he's in trouble.
I can't see George laying this down. I just cannot, the way he's been playing.
What is that?
And with his chip stack as well, he's only got to call another 50. And he started this hand with 123, so
50,000 more.
it all lends itself to a call.
Ace king.
Don't tell him.
I got a hand, obviously.
I know you got a hand, but it's just I hate these cards, and
Jacks are.
I just hate them. Anywhere I go, I hate these 2 cards I've got. Maybe it'll work for me here. Well, someone's got to make a move. All right, cool.
Call.
He's going to be very happy, obviously.
Flip them over.
The underpair.
Please, gentlemen.
Well, Tim Flanders already passed the A7, Jesse. He's got 1 out. He's in bad shape with the 7s.
I mean, you can see Alan's thought process there. You know, Sammy's been very loose and just decided to draw a line in the sand. Didn't want to call, make the pot
His
so big
range is
and-
so wide
Yeah.
with Sammy George's range. With a nickname like Any2, he didn't have to have jacks.
But it is Vinny Combe all in, and it's just been kind of wrong way traffic for him. He's gotten on the bad end of the stick a couple
This white
times,
is
and
building the acid up. Oh my God.
he's going to be done unless one card in the deck comes. The case 7. Close, but back to Devon
What's
for
that?
Alan.
That's what,
I
man.
was hoping you weren't going to call, obviously.
Yeah, I know, but I had to.
Okay.
Just
Cheers,
like
good
that.
luck.
Just like that. Wrong time,
Yeah.
wrong place, wrong hand, unfortunately for Alan Vinicum. But
You don't get much wiggle room in these one tables.
I didn't get any hands, really. That's the problem. Didn't really get any good hands, but I don't think I made any glaring errors, which is always pleasing. You know, if you go out on a big error, there's a problem. But maybe I could have folded the 7s.
Well, welcome back to the partypoker.net World Open 4. And 4 left at this table.
Pass. Pass. Call.
This feels pushy.
Call.
No. Tim's trying. I guess
No rest.
Tim's trying to. He does not want to knock himself out here, Tim. But that felt. Oh, this is a good spot.
Check.
He's-
I think we're going to get it all in here. What do you reckon, Jesse? A gut shot straight draw and the nut flush draw.
10,000.
I think Tim pushes and George calls here.
the bet is too big for Tim to call, isn't it? He has to push
he-
it. I mean,
If he thinks his king's any good, he has to
Pass.
push in.
All in.
Raised all in.
and he's getting called.
Call.
It's. I think it's nearly 50-50.
Yeah.
There's a straight draw. George actually a slight favorite,
Yeah,
which
well-
Tim is going to stand up. You don't like it, but
Going out or 2.
Yep.
Flanders' problem, of course, is this pot's only 83,000. We'll just put him back in it, but he needs to start his winning ways now. No 5, no club, no ace.
I thought of waiting for the turn.
He's got to miss a lot, hasn't he?
Sure does.
Can I have a put you on hand?
Instant service.
Not bad.
Thanks. Well, a 10
And it is a bit unfortunate, you know. the
Oh, no,
fight.
Oh,
hello. Oh my!
Sit back down.
Sorry for shaking hands.
No
too
problem.
Jeez, I
Sorry.
thought he was
I couldn't
drawing
say- I
dead
couldn't see I was
Flanders. It
doing
felt like he was.
It was such a nice hand with the straight draw, flush draw, overcard.
No, it was all right.
If you raise, I stick it in.
Kind of a very competitive poker game was
made up my
broken
mind.
out of this.
What you were thinking.
Really?
Yeah, I swear to you.
You're going to stuck
Pass.
it in then, yeah?
How funny would it be if
Oh, I had
Abraham
that,
and Flanders end up being the starring characters in the latter stages?
Pass.
Lascelles waking up.
Call.
Go on, Lascelles, set the trap.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Raise 6,000 more.
Lascelles thinks he's absolutely got him hook, line and sinker, but wow.
Call.
He just calls.
He is calling. I mean, he would have gotten on, obviously, but clearly he must be mentally committed with the rest of his chips, no matter what. I mean, but what if the ace comes?
This may be the only saving grace for him is this ace.
Geez, the funny thing is, actually, if Lascelles goes all in now, he could actually win this pot.
All in for 16.
Look at it.
Has he got enough to make him pass, though? That's the problem.
I don't know.
He hasn't got the king of spades. That's the
It's
problem.
only 16, yeah. But
This is the problem about getting yourself so low, Jesse. You haven't got enough
If you had an ace,
enough
you'd have gone
ammo.
all in pre-flop. That's why I called.
Call.
No,
Yeah,
boys.
exactly. And
See
Okay,
him?
gentlemen.
If he could have put 35, 40,000 in, you can make Abby
Oh,
pass.
wow.
yeah,
What chance?
exactly.
On your
That's the
way
way
to-
the day has been for Lascelles.
Yeah.
The day and the night.
So it's a jack.
And
You couldn't
sometimes
have
what
stayed.
throws.
You couldn't have
Two
stayed
spades.
anyway.
2 spades.
Remember what happened to the last man who got up? He
Yeah,
sat
well.
back down again.
You need to check his hand on the turn.
Oh!
Sit back down.
Hello, darling. He's not going to celebrate
Lord.
prematurely.
Oh.
No, no.
Great.
Many
king
an out.
would
Any
give-
king or
oh
any
my.
queen, Jesse,
Yeah, he's a
is going to be
queen, yeah.
good.
Oh,
Oh, king's good.
oh my
unlucky.
God.
That should be.
My goodness.
There's one left in the pack, and
Cheers.
he managed to find it on the river.
Oh,
He's been kicked around, Lascelles. And,
Unlucky.
you know, he's playing good today. I mean, he's
Oh
giving
my
it a
God.
lash. Do you have a feeling about how this is going to go down?
2 million that's.
You know what? I really
Yeah.
just watching the way that Alan Abrahams is playing. I fancy him to win this
Pass.
from this spot. He's not made a mistake. He's not put his chips at risk at any point.
Flanders has limped under the gun, and that's
Cool.
what's given Alan sort of this tickle from the
Nervous.
small blind. He wasn't really sure whether to raise, call, or even perhaps fold if he was up against a monster. He's taken this look and see approach. Because really, limping four-handed under the gun is not something that's done often. It's been a perfect flop for Alan. No!
15,000.
Or might that work perfect?
I think it's a great bet. I really do.
Geez, Abby's really going to need to think about this because it'll be very expensive if he's wrong. You know, what's the best way for him to find out what he needs to know? Or should he just forget all about it? Yeah, he's
Raise.
going for the raise. Can't blame him, can you?
No, you can't.
Geez, Alan, looks like about a minimum raise.
Need another 2.
It is a
Raise to
minimum raise.
30,000 total.
Raise to 30, and should Alan re-push here, or just, perhaps?
Alan's just trying to figure out. I've led out, so what does he put me on to be making this play?
Right, and if Abby's got a draw, he wants to kind of make him pay, and if he's got the 7, he wants to suck him in. Alan's going to try and make it
I'm
look
with
like he's make it look like he
Yeah,
has
he's
a
all
draw.
in.
I don't think Abby's going to fall for this. He got 30,000 out of Abby, which
Yeah.
is pretty good.
Bit of Hollywood, and this is going to be should be a pretty much insta fold really from Abby.
76,000.
Abby has to be asking himself, what can I beat here? Is he doing this with Jack 7? No, he can't be. Alan's played really solid.
That it was all going so well, and he's just trying to work back through it and say, has something gone wrong, or have the cards just turned a little bit against me?
Oh, as soon as he went to this 5-10 level, the wheels have slightly come off, haven't they?
Pass.
surprised to see. I mean, you know, these guys are kind of and Allen hasn't been all that tough for the big blind. Why not raise?
Exactly.
I don't know. I mean, there must be a reason.
If there's a big blind I'm going to nick, it's going to be Allen's or Tim's every time.
Now there's 30,000 in that pot. Now, Tim's got the best hand, but you know, this could all be. It's all very tricky right now. I mean, you know, these guys have to play a big pot like.
And Sammy George comes out firing at it with absolutely nothing.
He's just lost his head.
Pass.
Tim's not going to pass this, is he?
I mean, you know, the last thing Tim wants to do is get all the money in and have it be 50-50. I don't know. I guess not.
Cool.
Geez, you know, there's a lot of cards where if George makes the big second bullet, the Flanders is going to.
Well, any big overcard is going to put him off unless it comes a 10, obviously. That's the one he wasn't hoping for. Why didn't Tim raise there, Jesse?
Why didn't Tim raise before the flop?
Well, or on the flop. He's got a monster flop.
55,000.
Up and down with top pair.
I think, yeah. I don't know. He's feeling sick right now, that's for
Now,
sure.
we've still got outs, obviously, but it was a mistake flat calling. You've got to make a decision whether or not you think your hand's good, Jesse, on the flop.
Well, it feels like a mistake now to Tim as well. I think he's going to make. I think he called there intending to fold if the second bullet came and he missed. I can only think he did not want to lose his chips here, and he certainly doesn't want to get them all in here. He likes his chances too much. You know,
The problem he's got, Jesse, is even. What does he want to see? He only really wants to see the straight, because if the 9 comes, he's only made 2 pair, and there's possible straights out there if he's sitting with a 5.
Look, it's such a drawy board. The
A
question,
diamond is bad.
Yeah, I mean the question, Tim. Is he going all in?
All in.
Wow. Oh my.
All right, cool.
Cool.
Your king.
No. I've got some hands.
Tim's got about 30,000 more than Sammy George, but most of their chips are in this pot, 280,000, and Flanders has outs. He hasn't hit them. And Sammy has gone from, I mean, it went from nothing.
Gifted, Jesse. It was Christmas come early for Sammy George there. Why Tim didn't raise on the flop with the hand? He's an absolute monster flop. Up and down with top pair. What?
100.
You know, Sammy George ran down the hall, threw himself out an 8-story window, and then there was a mattress truck underneath that Tim Flanders parked for him.
80.
Tim will be kicking himself over that because he hasn't made mistakes like this in this one, but this will have to go down as an error.
Just about.
Last hand of the 5 and 10,000, and now that Sammy has nearly half the chips in play, he could really swing the broadsword if he wanted to, couldn't he? Or should he wait until Tim goes out?
Well, that pass in the last hand, Jesse, he's obviously hid his broadsword in back of his sheath and wants to play a little more cagey.
Raise all in.
I call.
Cool.
Oh, wow. And this is... This has been the story of a lot of people's nights. They finally pick up a hand, and then boom, the big kings are
Me to
behind.
get an interesting number of chess and then run smack into it. Never mind.
It's not over.
Well,
not over
indeed.
at all.
Tim does catch his ace or some weird straight draw or flush or something, then he is going to be right back in it.
Yeah, he's in the muck, but the pot size really nice. And just the bullet.
Up and shake your hand on the
shaking your hand yet.
Five would make it
Let
interesting.
me wait till the river. Oh.
Close.
I hate the slow, you know.
Flanders needs it. No.
Thank you very much, Tim.
Tim out in fourth. It's been a rocky road for him. He was up against it early and managed to come all the way back.
The last hand was easy. I mean, I've been moving all in with any ace and king. I was short stacked. I got to a reasonable amount of chips, and the button had flat called now ace jack. It's easy, just move your chips in. The unlucky bit was when you need the kings next to you. Oh, the really unlucky bit was not getting lucky and hitting the ace like everyone does to me.
Great thing about Abraham's table image right now is that if he needs to steal a pot, it's kind of like he's built up the reserves that is there for the taking.
Absolutely.
And you can get in that spot where you just really need to push one through with no cards. You can do it. Abby's going to have a little more trouble, and that might be why he's tightened up just a little bit. You said it. Sammy is prepared to call Abby and not prepared to call Alan.
Looks like a limping kind of hand for Sammy.
Cool.
Call. Pass.
He loves these suited connectors.
No raise.
Two pretty looking hands going to war here, Jesse. King, Queen 10 against 6-7.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of hand that Abby would say like to push with, but he's just too worried
Check.
that Sammy's going to call him. This is check raise all in.
This is so much of a check raise all in. And Sammy George might think he's got a decent draw here with a gut shot 5 to make it straight. He's going to bet it, isn't he?
60.
60?
60,000.
60?
Yep,
All in. That's not 60.
That's
Isn't
a
it?
strange bit.
Oh, I thought that was 60.
He
Where did
might have
he
meant
get that from?
16.
Where did he get 60 from, Jesse?
Just put another 31 in, please.
30.
31.
How am I adding up these chips then?
You're thinking.
You know,
please.
He's got this so wrong. He can't pass now. That's the problem.
20.
I
31.
think he may have just really brained this one out.
So
He's probably not in that. He's not going to be in that bad shape, really. I mean,
No, he's not. He's
great shape.
It was always up against a 4 or something, but
22%.
What's left?
You'd like to be better than that. but
yeah, you would.
This is a big pot, and I think
37.
he's definitely priced in. Sammy, unfortunately, has just made that. It was a very reasonable bet on the flop, but just
Betting's
the size.
fine, but
yeah,
there was what 30,
37 in
37,
there.
and he bet 60.
It's a lot.
Such a random number. Bet 15, get pushed off it and pass.
And now he actually has to call, doesn't he?
Of course he has to call.
Although if he thinks that Abby has an 8,
Well, that's the best case.
I'm thinking the dealer's going to have to count that one too. But I think Sammy's just trying to. He's just going to have to sort of settle down and think about this. Now the fact is, if he does call and lose, he's still fine. He's still going to have 200,000.
Pass.
Pass.
Wow.
One club, Abby.
Two
clubs.
Two mistakes, Jesse, in this pot. One, the 60,000 bet into a 37,000 pot, and secondly, when he's probably getting the odds to call that, he lays it down.
Pass.
Hello. Is it worth trying to trap? I think he thinks so. I think he's probably right.
Call.
Raise.
Hello. Good night,
Raise.
Abby.
Yeah, well, the money's
30,000
kind of all going in here, no matter how it
this
happens.
is such a cooler situation.
Ace Jack is way too strong, isn't it?
Three-handed. This is done and dusted.
Bit of a shame for Abby. He's played such a good game tonight.
He's played great.
Really enjoyed it. Hate to write his exit speech here, but look at those percentages, 7%. That may be taking a little too long here.
I'm all in.
All in. Call.
Oh,
So what are you looking around at?
Yeah.
What I
Well,
want to know
just,
is,
I want him to call, don't I?
This is going to be huge for Abraham. He is going to have,
How much
oh
money?
boy,
How
about
much, you know, what's the best
400K,
move?
unless the unimaginable happens. And Kaitan, who's all in.
imagine. Can you imagine?
Well, she's got.
More spades.
Yeah, it played itself, Jesse, didn't it?
I mean, from the start, he's.
2 more spades.
Abby has seemed really given this a full gusto.
Oh yeah. I just realised what you're talking about.
But he's down to, looks like runner, spade.
Find
There's
another one.
the start. 20% now. It's the best chance he's had at any point during this.
It's easy now.
Oh my! Oh my!
Wow.
Well, we'd seen everything tonight, but Ace is getting cracked, and now
Abby.
we've seen it.
Wow.
What the?
And I mean, from the start, that hand was just going to happen.
God, I've got to get up.
And, Abraham has just had his world rocked. Look, he's holding onto the table so he doesn't fall over.
157.
It's one of the cruelest feelings in the game.
157,
Yeah,
yeah?
157.
I mean, three-handed. These guys are just going to go to the wall with this. You just, if you don't, you're not a poker player. And spade and spade, turning river.
Nasty.
And Abraham's still in, but he's very short.
Now Abby goes big favourite.
You can throw physics out the window and do the laundry while you're at it. Lines of 10 and 20,000 here, Barry. The math says just grin and bear it.
Well, we're reaching that stage of the tournament, Jesse, where finesse goes out the window.
85.
Raised to 85,000 total.
Yeah, and Abby's got his glasses off for the first time. That's the kind of bet where everything else is implied, I think.
Even if
Pass.
George come over the top, it makes no difference. He's got to call.
Pretty hand for Allen,
Just the right
unfortunately.
amount for me. Strange, that, isn't it? Okay.
Pretty unfortunate he's dominated here.
Yeah.
It's sort of been the way it's been the last couple times against Abby Kaitan.
Oh, I'm glad
You
I
can
folded.
see.
Is there any justice in this world? We'll see.
Oh,
Lots of
God.
spades on this board, Jesse.
Thank you very much. Now I'm screwed.
I could do spades here as well.
Yeah, well,
Anything like that.
180,000 for Abraham if he can find the queen. Spade 10 gives him some possibilities around the back door, but he needs help. Just the 3 cards then. Oh.
Well done, Abby.
Sorry, boss.
And
take care.
Alan Abraham, I'll tell you, he had this thing in his vision, in his grasp, and he's played a good game.
But that's the way it goes sometimes. That's poker.
With 2 left, it's time to stand and deliver. I wonder who's got what's called for. I mean, you rarely see bet frequencies this high in these final levels, but these guys have played.
Well, you saw the bet frequency in the first couple of levels. One was at like 80%, the other one was at 76. It
Yeah.
was amazing.
Abby with the 2-1 chip lead, but who's got the better style right now for this heads-up battle?
I think you'll see Abby trying to trap Sammy. He'll play a good aggressive game, no doubt. But I think Abby's just got a little bit more to his game from what I've seen in this heat.
Raise.
Raise.
And, you know, we could be seeing first hand all in. I mean,
I don't think it's going to last long, Jesse.
I don't think George...
19 total.
I don't think he's throwing these away. The
Raise
question
to
is,
90,000.
does he want to see the
17.
flop?
all in.
Call.
Raise all in. Okay.
What have you got?
King, queen.
King, queen, jack, 10.
It's quick.
Kaitan obviously the favorite with the overcards, but the 10 jack, plenty of possibilities. The big news, of course, that Abby has some back and the 60% favorite. But clubs.
Club.
And that's really leveled these percentages, I'm sure. Made George the favorite. Not now. 7 for a chop.
Yeah.
Club, the 10, the jack for George to double up. He needs to hit.
I like it.
It's all over.
Well done, man.
Sammy, any two George, he has been a revelation.
quick.
Tell you, TV
can't I
poker is
hit
going to
a
love
clock?
this guy, Barry.
Can you drop me on the way back?
And he'll be in the turbo. These two hands dealt out on the first flop, heads up, and well, the chips were going in because these guys aren't backing off.
No. I knew it'd be quick heads up, but not one hand anyway.
Flush draw, all kinds of draws for George, but in the end, the ace-king kicker to the fives are taking Kaitan through.